Hi there, my name is Nicolette Waldman, and I'm here today to talk about fellowships. I am currently a senior fellow with the International Human Rights Clinic, and I was also a graduate of Harvard Law School. I graduated in 2013. I received a Public Service Venture Fund Fellowship and a Satter Fellowship to research civilian involvement in armed conflict with the Center for Civilians in Conflict. And I would love to share with you today a little bit of information about the application process and then some tips that really helped me and lessons learned that really helped me through the fellowship year and things I wish I would have done during the fellowship year. So first of all, applying for the fellowship, I found it to be very straightforward. However, I very much recommend meeting with Emily Keene and Anna Crow in advance and speaking with them about your application, because then you can basically avoid any problems down the line. It also really helped that I knew the partner organization I worked with. I had interned with them my second year summer, and I also did a human rights clinical project with them. It made such a difference that we knew each other, and I would recommend, if it's possible, to at least call the organization if they're very far away. But if you can, go and meet them, sit down and talk through the year, speak about what you'll be doing and your responsibilities. I think will make such a difference for you. So in terms of the fellowship year, I had such a great experience, and I ended up doing extensive research in Gaza and then in Kenya. However, there are some things I would have done differently if I could have. The first is, from the very beginning, I wish I would have done a very realistic safety assessment of the countries I was planning to go to. I ended up not going to two of the countries that I planned to go to. First of all, for visa concerns, and also for safety, and also expense. So do this safety assessment, figure out, can you access the country, and make sure you go through that process and force your partner organization to do it with you. I would also counsel that you choose a project that really matters to your partner organization. You will need supervision. You want to learn during your fellowship year. And if you want to get that supervision, it will help so much if that project matters to the partner organization. So I would have perhaps chosen a project that was essential for the work of the partner organization. It ended up great for me, but I maybe even would have chose a second project or somehow worked that out. I would also see if travel was involved. Can you arrange for your partner organization to cover some of those costs? Can you also get your partner organization to pay for your health insurance? That will really help when finances are tight during the year. And think about the costs in the country that you'll be spending your time in. A lot of conflict countries for Satter are quite expensive. So find out how much rent is, how much general movements are, and work that into your budget, and perhaps even choose a country that is inexpensive if you can. However, I think the essential thing for picking the country where you'll be based is to pick a country where you want to be based the year after your fellowship. That way you can spend your fellowship year really strategizing and networking, making sure that this fellowship leads you into a meaningful human rights career. And I also would have started talking to my advisors sooner in the year, if I could have, about whether I could have stayed on with that organization. I think often you want to impress the organization first, but I would say as soon as you've impressed them, perhaps even after 3 months or 4 months, then start talking if there might be funds to keep you on, because those conversations take some time, and you'll want to find that out as soon as you can. My fellowship was extremely useful for getting me into a human rights career. I actually can't think of anything that was more useful. These fellowships are amazing, so don't miss them. Don't ignore them. And I think why it was so useful, one reason is that I learned how to do field research very in a self-directed way. And I was in charge of myself for parts of the project, and that I used for the rest of my career. I also learned all kinds of things about field research, and basically I got to spend a year conducting field research with hundreds and hundreds of civilians. I spent so much time in Gaza talking to, I think, over 80 people. And then for the Somalia research, we talked to at least 85 civilians. So really, this was a priceless experience. And I think basically it ended up being the first step in me being able to get hired by Amnesty International, because I could show I had field research experience and I could carry out this type of work. So for me, it was just essential in being able to move on in my career and make that transition from law school into the field and into being a practitioner. So that's my advice. The fellowship applications for Harvard's postgrad fellowships, the Satter and the Henningsen, are all due March 15th. So get your applications in. Please talk to anybody in the Human Rights Clinic if you have questions, and good luck. Thanks.